Hello, guys. Welcome back to the third episode of the Texans Probe with Drew. Today, we're kind of going to be going over some of the recap of the Giants game, how the Texans look. We're going to talk about guys like Damian Pierce and John Mechie who had important weeks, not all great, but important, and maybe some guys that are kind of trending up and down, and what we expect for the Texans in that last preseason game against the Rams, and kind of the joint practices that are upcoming. I'll actually be at the joint practice tomorrow, so I'll get some information for that. But how are we feeling today, Drew?
Game was impressive for a lot of people. It was a big performance for them because preseason is not really about the starters. I mean, if your starters play bad, even in the preseason, it's not really a big deal, but it's important for certain guys like John Mechie, who played super, super well. People were talking about, oh, he might just not make the team. Well, I think he has so much chemistry with the players on his team. If you saw how excited Tank Dell, Juan Diggs, Collins, C.S. Stroud got for him, it's like you realize he's a super talented player who just needs more confidence, and he looks super explosive, and that was really fun to see. And we just saw a lot of other battles out there. We saw that Derek Stingley might be looking like the best cornerback in the entire NFL. So that was super cool to see. And it's always nice to have a dominating preseason win.
For sure, for sure. There was a lot of guys that looked good. Well, sure, we'll get to it again, but Kenyon Green had another impressive week. Love to see that. No pressures given up from him. Um, but
I
yeah,
haven't
do you
seen
want to
him
just go?
struggle at all.
No, he really hasn't. He hasn't had any problems, especially in pass protection. He's done really consistently pretty well. And we'll get to it with Damian Pierce, but there was one carry where I thought he blocked it pretty well, and Pierce just cut the wrong way. So not much you can do there. Um, but no, Kenyon's had a really impressive off season into camp and preseason. I think he's done in preseason now, but definitely a great preseason. Zero pressures allowed from him. And Juice had a good game as well. The only guys to give up pressures on that starting line were Fisher and Mason from PFF, and I think we all saw the Fisher one. He got beat. Fisher got beat. Burns got him, which happens. I think people were overreacting. It's Brian Burns, man.
I'm totally fine with that.
No, yeah. No, I mean Brian Burns is a freak. That guy is insanely
He,
fast, and so
he
he hit him with
is.
that spin, and that was a crazy move. And yeah, he got there quick. But Blake Fisher did somewhat hold his own outside of that. That was a great move, and obviously don't want that, but I mean he's going to get beat. He's a second round rookie that was not necessarily like the most pro ready guy, so he's going to get beat. Just the fact that I like having him out there against guys like Brian Burns, getting him the reps like that. He's going to learn from that, and he gets to learn from Tunsil and Titus, who are great pass protectors as well. So, you want to just go ahead and dive into the film here? Are we just going to go ahead and
Sure,
get
let's do
started?
it. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this. I think we'll just start from the top. We'll just go through all the plays, see what we see, and then we can kind of go deeper into it because I thought there was definitely more that happened in this game. It felt like where do I got to go for this? Here we go. There was more that happened in this game. It felt like than like the Pittsburgh game. More to take away from it. You got more reps from like guys that are actually going to play, even if it's not all the starters. The second string guys got in there more. Um, no Davis Mills, unfortunately. Um, but Keenum and Boyle both played pretty well. So let's go ahead and get into this. I like it better because you can choose by play. I thought, well, I'm sure we'll get into it more, but I thought the defense was really a standout of this game. The starting defense was
Absolutely.
unbelievable. Yeah, the starting defense was
Now,
just
of
all over the
course, it
place.
is the New York Giants,
Yeah,
and
yeah, who aren't a very good offensive
our
team for sure.
defense should be able to shut down the Giants' offense. And like for example, like when Malik Neighbors got open, he beat Stingley on one rep, and that's
Yeah,
pretty much the only way the Giants are going to be able to succeed.
yeah, neighbors.
As a
Yeah,
passing offense is
Neighbors has
Malik
to create
Neighbors.
separation, and even on that where he does beat Stingley on that play, and we'll get to it. But even that's a tough catch. Like it was separation, but he's got like that's a catch he's probably got to make. But that's what they're going to have to rely on. And from a rookie receiver, that's tough. It's not the easiest situation to step into.
He's a
We'll start
special
first.
player, man.
First play from scrimmage. Oh, he is first place from scrimmage. It should be a pick six. I mean, this is just a bad decision from Daniel Jones. I don't know what he sees here. Stingley's watching this the whole way. And sorry about that. That's my alarm going off.
Make sure to share your screen too.
I forgot. My bad. Completely forgot to do that.
Oh my gosh.
There we go.
Okay.
I'm on little
Let's take
sleep
a
here, man.
look.
I had to wake up for class this morning. So
Yep.
just been grinding. But here we go. All right. First play from scrimmage. So you get neighbors on the motion, and I mean you can see this kind of the whole way. Stingley's just watching Daniel Jones. He's just throwing this the whole way. And I mean, really, Stingley should pick this. That should be a pick six
It's
from
just
Stingley.
it's so special for the Texans to be able to sit back and cover four, knowing that Derek Stingley can make a play on pretty much any ball. And he's just
Yeah.
trusting his instincts. He's got really fluid transitions, and you're not going to be able to take deep shots on the Texans this year. If they align properly, you have guys like Kalen Bullock and Jimmy Ward up deep, up top. You should be just fine. And this is just a great elite play.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll get into that with the safety room, but here, so first snap is Eric Murray at safety. Um, I believe it was like 6'5". I don't remember the exact snap count, but we'll look into it. Like we talked about, Bullock's going to play with the starters. We talked about that from the very beginning. He's not necessarily an every down guy, but in certain situations, he's going to get on the field. Um, but Eric Murray does a nice job too. He had a pick today in camp, like has done a very solid job at safety. So safety is not a spot I'm worried about. I will get into that. I'm sure we'll talk about. I'm worried about linebacker more than anything because I think Harris is going to miss games to start the year, and you're going to rely on Toa Toa. So he's got to cover better than he did last year because that was a weakness, a big weakness for them.
I
But
mean, if you look at the improvement from, say, Christian Harris, from after having 1 year of D'Amico Ryan's, I feel like every To's progression going from rookie to second year in Texans, D'Amico Ryan's defense. I feel like D'Amico Ryan has been confident. So I'm starting to be a little less worried about the linebacker room, just again, because D'Amico Ryan is our head coach. He calls the defensive plays. So. Yeah, I think they'll be okay there, especially when I don't really know exactly what they could even do to upgrade the position at that point.
not much they can do at this point. There's no linebacker that's on like the market that's better than Toa Toa. So I saw people bringing up like Juan Alexander, and I'm like, that's a terrible idea. Like he's like 40 at this
There's no
point, but
point. You develop the young guys.
no.
I saw a great take from someone saying, Jamal Hill might not be good this year, but he might be really good next
Yeah.
year.
No,
Because
I
that's
like
just
Jamal
the
Hill. Yeah.
how to make a develop
That's
play,
actually
how to
something
develop
we're,
players.
we're going to record the 53-man episode later on this week, but that's something that I was kind of debating with people when I posted my mock roster that I haven't obviously finished it, but Jamal Hill is going to make the roster. I would be shocked if he doesn't make the roster off of the fact that I think if he got cut, some team would claim him. He would not make it back to practice squad because he's so athletic that just this year he could be a great special teamer because he's just so athletic. But the upside is there. They are not going to cut Jamal Hill. I'm fairly confident on that.
It's a guy that's going to
Um,
get a ton of reps in the next preseason game.
yeah, he's going to play
I
a
don't
lot.
even know how much they'll play toe to toe at this point because Christian Harris is
I
still
don't think
hurt.
he's going to play at
Toe to
all.
toe
He
is
may
going to be
not.
your will.
Uh,
He'll be your will linebacker next to Azeez Al-Shaair. So Jamal Hill's going to get a lot of playing time. I'll
yeah,
definitely be watching
I
that.
don't think. I think linebacker is really a spot where you want to know what your depth is. So I don't even see the point in playing toe to toe at all. Like I think you know what you have in him for the most part, and you know he's probably going to start. So there's not really a huge point. And I think without Harris, all of it, the only change that you're really going to see is I think they're just going to play even more nickel than they did before. Like Petrie will be on the field as a nickel a lot, even more than because
Especially if Harris is out because
that's not yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that third linebacker spot would be rough. Probably
they might
Neville
get
Hewitt
ballsy enough
or
to play Petrie a linebacker and put Desmond King in the slot and Eric Murray,
yeah.
Kalen Bullock, and Ward up top. Who knows
Against a
what they'll
team
do
like
with.
I could see them doing that against a team like Indy because I think you need speed against that type of team. You're going to need those guys that are. I think. I think
Just
it's
worried about
Indy's.
the ground and pound. They could
Yeah,
just
Indy's going
really
to try to run
say
the ball.
we have a mobile quarterback, and we could bring a bunch of packages in for that. 12 personnel. Anthony Richardson runs. Jonathan Taylor runs. That could get a little dangerous. That game will be really interesting in
Yeah,
terms of schematics, especially if Christian Harris is out
yeah. That feels like a game where Kalen Bullock doesn't get a lot of snaps to me.
too
It feels
early.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
and I think Chicago is maybe different. I think Chicago's going to try to throw the ball more. I think Kalen Bullock will play
It has
against
to be on the
Chicago,
field against Chicago.
I think schematic wise, it's just not a good matchup for Indy. I think you're going to see a lot of Eric Murray. You're going to see a lot of
Hopefully, he can
You
guard
got
the tight ends too, and the Colts like to use their tight ends.
yeah. Well, Jelani Woods is out for the year now, so I don't know who their tight end is now, but they do like to use them. All right, let's go ahead and yeah. I mean, this should be a pick. Stingley knows it too. He's not happy with that.
Yes, he
Uh,
posted on Instagram, hashtag should have been too.
I didn't see that. That's actually funny. Okay, what is this play? This is okay.
Well, some line
This
covered by Jalen Petrie.
I yeah, I forgot about this. The tight end tries to hurdle Jimmy Ward, which is a little bit of a interesting move, but
Theo Johnson, I believe. He's super
this
athletic
is
tight
this
end.
is this is a really good play from Jimmy Ward, though.
Yeah. Is there
Um,
another angle we can look at that from?
so he's this a lot of open field here,
You
and
can
so
kind of do what puts on this line, and
yeah, like
typically
these
you're going
linemen,
to try to
yeah,
take the outside shoulder
Aziz,
and force him inside, but he finds a way to kind of squeeze in and make a play.
yeah, because I mean, really, if Ward doesn't make this play, there's a ton of open field here. Aziz is on the other side of the field. I guess Petrie maybe could come in and make the play, but even then, there's just that's probably a first down if he doesn't come in. It's a great shed by him, gets off the block, and he
He
saves a
also
lot
thinks he
of
was held. He also thinks he was held too, which is very possible. It looks like he's gonna, yeah, I
yeah.
mean, he gets his outside hand, then he just kind of rips under. That's a classic technique that I was taught as a safety in high school.
I mean,
It's not fun to go against linemen.
Jimmy Ward's a guy that on this Texans team that I feel like people undervalue a lot. I think we've talked about it, but his impact we talked about where you can move the safeties around, like he's literally lining up as a third linebacker here and is able to make a play like this. Because I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen a safety that likes contact more than Jimmy Ward. It's probably why he's on the IR half the year because he wants so much contact. But it's awesome when he's on the field because you know he's going to get physical and can play anywhere on the field pretty much.
Exactly why his contract extended to
Yeah,
an extra year already, even though he'll be 33 or 34 years old. You don't have to be super athletic. You just have to be super smart
no,
and
he's never been
play
that
as
athletic
fast
of a
as you
guy.
physically can.
Yeah. I mean, and I heard that the contract was real team friendly. So I've talked about it and I think we'll talk about it more as season goes along. But next offseason, like going into 2025, this Texans roster is going to look very similar to what it looks like right now. There's not that many guys that are like starters that are going to move. Like depth will change, obviously, but there's not a ton of guys that are starting that are on 1 year deals for the most part now, which is a
You'll
huge
see
change from
more
what,
free agents that want to come to Houston
yeah,
and first round pick and second round picks.
I
Don't
know,
get me
yeah,
too
that team,
excited.
yeah. Really, it's just Stephon Diggs, and then you got defensive tackles like Tolu's going to be a free agent, and Edwards and these guys. But
We'll get a hopefully. I mean, obviously they're going to draft linebacker and defensive
yeah,
tackle too. They need to do that.
I thought they were going to draft Edgerrin Cooper this year, so I thought they were going linebacker this
That would
year.
have
But
been that would have been real nice right about
yeah,
now, but you can't predict injuries.
no, yeah, for sure. All right, let's go to this. This was that third down play. This is just an awesome. This is a good route by Neighbors. Get separation on Stingley. It's a tough catch, but it's a really good release there.
And the way that Neighbors is just able to stop right there and then transition and burst is super impressive. Super light on his feet. He's just a glider. He absolutely
Yeah,
glides on the football field.
he made some catches like in this game where I don't even know how like the one on the sideline where he caught it over. I don't even know how he got his feet in bounds like that. He's just insanely athletic. He makes some plays that are unbelievable. And you said the
Good
twitch there
job
to
by Jalen Petrie though too. He's going to be in a bunch, and usually when you're in a bunch, you're going to have match coverage and
yeah
kind of passes off the outside route because he's supposed to guard the inside man. He initiates contact 4 or 5 yards, and he's still able to carry it as well. But the problem is, when there's a bunch, good chance for a guy to separate. And that's going to cause problems. I wish I could draw on the screen right now. I'm literally circling it on
I
my
know
screen.
I'm gonna say
Um,
yes. We still gotta
yeah,
find
but
something for that. We gotta find something for that.
But
We're
that
gonna look into that
vertical causes a lot of can cause a lot of confusion and easily create separation for the receiver
for
against man
sure. No,
coverage.
this is yeah, and this is what we talk about the versatility that Jimmy Ward provides because literally last snap he was lined up like 3 yards off the line of scrimmage and now he's a deep safety. So he's legit just going to do everything for this team. That's why having him healthy is such a big thing. He's got to stay healthy, at least for important games down the stretch of the year. He's got to stay healthy because if he doesn't, it could get rough.
We're
And
gonna
I don't
see
have a lot of
DeAndre
confidence that
Houston
he's gonna.
Carson and Adrian Amos back on the team.
Hey man, Houston Carson was not bad. I did not mind Houston Carson. I gotta say, I did not mind that guy.
He grew. He played better at the end of it.
Yeah, he improved as the season went along, but still not a guy that I want starting at safety. Um, so yeah, they had so many injuries last year. They've gotten lucky, knock on wood, but they've gotten lucky this year with injuries for the most part. Harris is the one, but for everything else, they've been healthy. That's
The
that's good.
injuries
That's
last year, it's like there's no way that can happen again. It's just
oh yeah, it
horrible.
was crazy. They set the record for offensive line injuries or something like it was insane. It was unbelievable. The fact that they were able to win 10 games with that situation was just crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
obviously this play is just that was just a Malik Neighbor show. I mean, pretty good coverage, good design too by Dable.
All right, let's get into I believe this is the full start, so we don't have to actually watch this, but
Oh, no.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Burns, Burns
Super.
he's a little bit afraid of Burns. Can't say I blame him here. All right. Texans threw the ball a ton with their starting
They
offense was
did.
one thing. They came out and threw the ball a lot. And they really got the tight ends involved, which was cool to see. So here you get this little
Yeah, Dalton Schultz is going to have such. He's gonna have so many more catches than you think he is this season because him and Brevin Jordan. I think Brevin Jordan because Brevin Jordan made a couple of nice plays in this game too. But
I
man,
mean,
against zone. I mean, look at that. Look at the eyes. There's four eyes on Diggs and Nico Collins. No one cares about
yeah.
Pierce. And then Schultz is just already open. I didn't really see the alignment from that linebacker, but that's just a basic stick concept.
And really you could if he held onto the ball for a little bit longer, not probably the design, but if he held onto the ball for a little longer, he could probably hit Tank up the sideline here. I think this safety, you kind of get him to crash down and you can hit that if you really hold on to the ball. But Diggs is also open here. Like there's a lot of options here. The offense is just too good. If you give him time, there's too much. Like like we talk about. I mean, how many guys are like Nico? There's they're pretty much bracketed here, and I believe there's a safety here. Yeah, I couldn't see it because of my thing, but there's another safety here. Like there's four guys on two pretty much. So and
Yeah,
that's gonna
actually,
happen when
honestly, the thing might have done here is I might have given it to Damian Pierce because
yeah,
Damian Pierce in space, he could get 9 yards out of that. Where Schultz is
yeah.
kind of a weird, he's kind
Schultz
of a
is
weird
not.
after the catch player. Like he
Yeah,
really tries to get the extra yards, but he just kind of makes some weird decisions sometimes. But he can also break contact. But then he just sometimes turns the wrong way,
that's what I was
or
gonna
his
say.
feet
Yeah,
don't reset.
he does that a lot. Where I was watching, so I kind of just I went through like preseason. It was last year. This was like a couple months ago. But there was one play where it's like 3rd and 9, and he knows he has to get upfield, but he spins the wrong way and then just falls. And it's like it happens more than you would think because I always think like there was a lot of plays last year where like later on in the season where he got some good yak out of stuff. Like the play against Tampa Bay
Exactly.
where he breaks a tackle off of I don't remember who it was, maybe Devin White, and he gets upfield, like trucks over a guy. When he actually gets moving, he's a pretty good run after catch guy. The problem is that he catches the
Mhm.
ball out of time and doesn't get upfield, and he just kind of like goes down.
And
Because like there's not
this was
there's probably not a
another
ton of opportunity,
scenario
but
on
he
it.
just kind of like why he doesn't need to juke inside here. He's not going to make this guy miss. He's better off just turning it upfield when he catches it. Um, but it's still you get
Good
a nice
news
gain. It's a
is
gain of
that
six.
shows that does show that he when the scenario comes, he knows what to actually do, and he's gonna get you those
Yeah,
extra yards.
no, for sure.
He's having
And then
Jordan putting him in motion, which I love, putting him out wide and then bringing him back in.
I love how much they got Brevin involved in this game. I'm a big Brevin guy.
He's
And
similar
then
concept to what we just saw, but I
yeah,
like the speed outs too because Nico and Tank are great wearing those speed outs because they sell the vertical so well. Nico Collins runs a really nice comeback there
yeah,
too, which
yeah.
I'm
That's
not really
open.
sure
Yeah,
why CJ wouldn't trust a comeback against cover one because the safety can't get there. That's a comeback.
he
So I'm
doesn't.
a
He
little
doesn't ever
confused.
really seem to look that way, which
He
is
never
bizarre
looked.
because, like you said, yeah, he never looks right. He's kind of looking. He's reading it this side, and so I guess he just sees Brevin. He's going to get the yards. but he has time, right? This is a good double team by Juice and
Yeah,
Kenyon
he's going to
here.
step up and throw the come back to
Yeah,
maybe
because
go to the sideline
this
if
is
you
this is
want.
great protection overall. He could step up here, like I said, Juice and
And
Kenyon do a really good
scramble.
job on Dexter, or yeah, get outside, yeah, and Blake does a good job on Burns here. Like there is, and obviously like you take your yards, I get it, but you could, like you said, you could hit Nico here.
It's really
You
funny
could
how
get outside.
threatened the Giants defense looks right there. Deontay Banks looks pretty terrified. Um, in my
Yeah,
opinion, he's like, oh
yeah,
God,
yeah.
Typo's going
He's
to do
like,
something on
I
me.
yeah, no, he's like retreating. Yeah, and he's not even really like backing up in like a normal way. He's basically just
Just
trying to
getting
force him into the
out.
middle of the field. Yeah,
Like where Derek Stingley's guy is going to force you to the sideline and give you as little space as possible. And Deontay Banks is just kind of bailing out into a third, and not really
Hmm.
identifying anything. He's always been a man coverage guy, just for reference, Deontay Banks. But that just goes to show the power that the Texans offense has.
Right here for this throw because I want to do this from the other angle because this throw is unbelievable. Um, this is the slant to big. Just watching, so you watch Okereke here, like you have to have a lot of trust in your arm to throw that type of ball.
He sees
Um,
okay, so
yeah, no, he sees it. He just knows that he can
and
fit it in
he
there.
knows that he can make that throw.
Yeah, I mean, and he barely gets it by. But I mean, it's just right on the money. This is, I mean, there's not much you can do about that as a defense. I mean, Okereke does a pretty good job. He's right there.
I mean, it's not much of a stutter, Karake either. Like right when CJ pitches there, he's breaking on the ball. He doesn't even know where Tank or where Diggs is, but he's breaking on the ball. But CJ's just man better than anyone.
Yeah, there's just that's just unbelievable talent. There's not much you can do about that as a defense. All right, I think we're getting into our Damian Pierce carries here. I think this is a run, if I'm not
First
mistaken.
one.
Not much. I don't see too much
Nothing he
wrong
could
with
have done
this.
about that.
Yeah, there's not much you could do here. You'd like for him to make Okereke miss, but I mean,
You can't
not
make
much.
a
I
guy
mean,
that has 135 tackles,
no, Okereke is a really good
every single
linebacker. So I'm
season
not. No,
make
I'm
him
not
miss.
gonna.
Oh
There's not
man,
much. There's not much there. There's not much there.
I hope no one was blaming Pierce on that one.
You'd
It's
almost
good.
like, and I grant I don't necessarily know exactly how the blocking scheme works here, but you'd almost like Stover to pick that up over going
I was
outside.
gonna
But
say that, but I also can I can just tell you that he was definitely supposed to take the outside guy.
yeah, no, yeah. I mean, you would think he'd go if it was designed to go inside, he'd pick up Okereke. That was my only thought. But like you said, I guarantee it was more supposed to go to the outside, and then
Now,
it
if
wasn't
there,
there.
actually there should be another view. Could you go to the other view? Because there is
I
a chance
can.
that Pierce could have hit the outside. Let's see what he saw then. Because if Stover's taking the outside guy, you need to run outside.
Yeah, he should go outside here. It feels like he probably should follow Stover.
He shouldn't have.
It's tough.
He should never cut inside.
Yeah.
Should have hit the edge.
And I'm not saying this is all I've been asking from Pierce
Now
necessarily
he
is I
may
don't
have
even
thought that Stover was going to go for the inside guy.
yeah
To be
yeah.
fair,
The only
'cause
thing that I've been asking from Pierce is I don't even care about having these huge breakaway runs. I just want him to get like first down, get 3 or 4 yards. There's too many yards or too many runs where he just gets 0 or 1 and puts the offense in a hole. Like, and this one just get to the outside here, and even if you don't, like you said, maybe he thinks Stover's going to block Okereke, but um,
tell you
you'd
why,
like to
because
see him get to the
Stover is
outside.
staring at Bobby
Uh,
Okereke the entire
yeah.
time.
And yeah.
Stover is staring at Okereke.
I thought he would have picked up Okereke here. That's what I thought from the other angle. Like you said,
He's
he's
looking
looking
right at him.
inside, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think if he does pick up
And Brevin
Okereke, there's
Jordan
actually
makes
some
better.
decent room. Where's
Actually,
Brevin?
Ben Jordan actually holds on to the block. That's a hell of a block from a guy that used to be a utility player.
Oh, I see him. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's on
That was
Kayvon, isn't it?
amazing. That's on Kayvon Thibodeau. That's in
Yeah.
well, Kayvon Thibodeau hasn't been the best one
That's that's what
recently, but
that's what I've talked about for a while. I think Brevin is a much better blocker than he gets credit for at this day and age.
he added
He,
it to
he's
his toolbox.
yeah, he's as of last season, he's a much improved blocker. And that hole that he had, the tough play. I'm sure we'll get to it, but he is a much improved blocker. Um, like you said, this is a hell of a
Exactly
block
why
here.
I didn't want the Texans to draft Cade Stover.
Yeah, I was. I think people like the Stover pick because he played at Ohio State. I
Exactly.
think that's pretty much why. I was never the biggest fan of the Stover pick either. I don't see how he really carves out a role this season until maybe one of those guys goes down, right? I just think Brevin's a flat
Fullback
out
like that.
better
I
player
mean,
right now. Because I also don't think Cade Stover is like this monster blocker either, which is kind of what you would like to
he
have at
says
tight
he's
end.
tenacious. He says he's tough and
Right,
physical
I
and
do
all that
believe he's tough.
stuff.
I just don't see like when I watch him at Ohio State and I watch him here,
Yeah.
I don't see him as like a monster blocker. I think really the best blocking tight end in the room is still Catoriano if he can get healthy. Um, so I don't know. I thought it was a bizarre pick too,
His
but
personal packages are going to be
he's the
interesting. It's
he
like
seems
check this
like to
out and
me
they cut Toriano.
out of
But
all the picks that they've
obviously,
made,
three
he's
no, three receivers. I mean,
yeah. No, he seems like the one to me that is kind of the weirdest pick that they had in the draft. Like I get why they took Fisher. It was a weird pick, but I got it. Like third tight end was kind of like
you know,
there
like
was
Titus
felt
was
like there
already
was
like
spot.
20.
It felt like there was just better options on the board to me at least. Um, Especially like when they need defensive tackle still. And I like the defensive tackle room a little bit, but I would have liked that a Dylan piece. Or you take a linebacker because you look at the linebacker depth, it's pretty bad. So that's just my take on it. But I mean, we'll see. Cade Stover could end up being awesome. We could look like idiots, but um, no, this year I don't think Cade Stover is going to play all that much. But I do think it's interesting that he's playing a lot of fullback, which is kind of what I've been asking for. I think I don't see the point in keeping Andrew Beck when he's not a great blocker. And I think you could replace him with multiple guys who could play fullback, but
Just
I don't
put
even know
Brevin
if
Jordan
Beck's going to
back
be
there,
ready
and
for
that'll
week
be
one.
happy.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Brevin should play a lot of fullback this year. And I just don't see, I don't even know if Beck is ready to play week one. So I think he's still hurt. So we'll see what happens at fullback. Fullback's a spot where I think a lot will change based off what they do, if they keep Beck or if they cut him or um, here. And then this one, this is the out, or well, it's not really an out, it's kind of a curl, but I just kind of want to pause it because this is the type of stuff where we talk about like why didn't he throw the comeback? Because like he's already throwing this ball. Like when they see Nico one on one, they pretty much always go at him. They're always going to go at him. So it was
And it's
bizarre that he didn't
so
even
much
look
less
at.
separation than that other
Yes,
play, and it's still cover one. So like you should be alerted. Nico's running a comeback. I'm gonna throw this. We're gonna get 13 yards because Nico. This wouldn't even be a tough. The other one wasn't gonna be a tough catch. This is insanely impressive by Nico Collins and CJ Stroud.
yeah, and
Whew.
really this could be a flag. Uh, they could
They
call
both.
this.
The problem is that I guess they might be Banks. I can't really tell.
I think
Banks
it
is a
is
little
Banks.
handsy, and Nico
Yeah,
Collins is a lot stronger. So you shouldn't put hands on a stronger receiver like that because then they're allowed to do stuff like that too.
for sure. And yeah, they're just throwing this type of ball like this, and you see it in the red zone too. It was incomplete, but the offense is going to go uh, corners if they're one on one with Nico Collins in man coverage. It's going to consistently happen because I mean here, and I don't even think Nico kind of sees this ball late. Like he doesn't even really catch it cleanly because he doesn't expect it there that soon. But he just creates so much separation on the route that he's able to just bobble and catch it.
Everyone knew he was going to break that tackle too. I mean,
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
he
he
always
always.
breaks the first tackle as well. It's really quite impressive.
This, by the way, this sun looks so stupid. I hate this. I hated it during the game. You can't see anything. Hopefully they fix this. It
Yeah,
looks so bad.
please
You
fix it
couldn't.
soon.
I was like, I turn around and I'm watching Lonnie Johnson recover a fumble. I don't even know where the ball is. So I was very
I didn't know it
confused
was
by
Lonnie
that.
Johnson because of the sun. So
Yeah, yeah, I know. I knew it was Lonnie once he went to the sideline, but I couldn't tell who it was at first. Um, Here, this is I think this is another Pierce run. Let's see, what is
I'm pulling
this? Okay, this is no, this is play action.
it.
Brevin. I love the idea of getting Brevin Jordan in space. I will always love the idea of getting Brevin Jordan in space here. Um, because if he doesn't slip, I think he scores here, to be honest with you, or he at least gets more yards. He kind of like slips when he tries to turn up field because I think he makes this guy miss if he doesn't. And I think he gets upfield. He's so athletic for a tight end. Like he's more athletic than almost every linebacker that he's going to be an open field against.
Hold on.
We can go back. We can go. You're all good. No worries. Here, I'll continue to go through this kind of while we're just talking. While Drew's gone. So we got it's kind of I love these play designs. Like I said, just getting Brevin Jordan out in space and getting him to be able to turn up field like this is awesome. And if he doesn't slip, he gets a lot more yards. I think he probably breaks this. It's probably a race to the pylon with 27 more than likely. But either way, I love the design getting Brevin out in space and
Yeah,
you're
but I
able to
think
turn
that
up field
like
like that.
the Diggs kind of like stopped moving right when he saw CJ throw the ball. So I feel like he also had space too, a
Yeah,
lot
he
of
does.
space because Newman's all the way at the 4 yard line, and so
No, yeah,
CJ just flips
he
his
could fit this
hips.
into Diggs too.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, I always wonder. Now, maybe you have a better idea. I always wonder why, and I know you have to balance it, but I always wonder why the Texans seem to roll Stroud out to the left so much. Maybe he likes it, but it seems bizarre to me. They do it a lot because it feels like, at least to me, just naturally, if you're a right-handed quarterback, it'd be easier to make the throw to Diggs if you're rolling to your right. But I don't
That's just
know.
kind of the deception that goes into it. This one, I mean, you're
Yeah,
handicapped. You can only roll to one side.
yeah,
That's
no,
that's
that's true.
people talk about vanilla offenses. You can be very vanilla, even if you run play action to just one side. You have to be able to run
Oh
play
yeah,
action to multiple sides. And that concept too is play action slide X corner. So, also there's a slide concept where it's like there's also a zone split attached to it because Brevin Jordan is sliding along with CJ, and it just really creates because also Brevin Jordan could have just ran like a dig or a crosser, but he split and slid underneath the line too. So it's a really good design and a lot of
oh yeah.
deception.
That's a very good design. Okay. This is okay. I gotta say, I love this. I love the idea of getting your receivers touches like this. I will always be a fan of it. I think, and I don't know if Diggs is necessarily the guy I'd run it to, but I just like the idea of like getting your playmakers the ball like this. I've always been a fan of it. We saw it a lot with Hutchinson last year, getting him touches like this. Tank was doing it before he got hurt. Like just getting your guys out in open space like this, getting them the ball is awesome. It's an extension of
The
the run
only
game, especially when
thing
you don't run the ball very well.
The only thing I'll say is I just don't like that they did that from the left hash because it limits the amount of space and the Giants are able to kind of close everything off and push it to the sideline.
Yeah.
If you run it from, or if they give him the ball and run along with the right hand, you have all that space. This one, and basically it allows Newman on the linebacker to easily to chase it down and flow much easier to the side. It's interesting thing by Slow too, but what he does do slowly by putting it on the left hash is he has the two tight ends. And so if there was a
Mhm.
receiver, there would be even more condensed, but the two tight ends are kind of essentially pulling and getting out into space too. So then, if you're into football and schematics and play design, that's really the only way you can do that from the left hash.
Yeah. All right. This was okay. This was the one Pierce carry where I felt like he messed this one up. I felt like maybe you'll disagree with me, but I feel like no. Okay, this is never mind.
It's good.
This is the fade. Wrong play. It was on the goal line, but this is what we talked about again. Just when you have man coverage with Nico, they're going to throw him the ball. Not much, I don't really
I
have
don't
much
know
else
why
to.
I don't like that CJ put air on it. You don't actually just put air on this because he has so
He
much
that
separation. You could have just thrown
one
it
of
to
the
his
only throw it more the field
it
almost.
could have just been a
Um,
bullet. Could have been
yeah.
bullet to his back shoulder.
I don't really like how he throws fades. That's one of the only throws where I feel like he seems to miss a lot. He's not very good at throwing them, and I think he's
I
going to get
don't
better
even
at
know
it.
if I've
But
seen a highlight of he just got throwing a 30-yard
he
fade
missed
for a
one. They
touchdown.
threw one to
I don't
Schultz too, which
understand
I
it.
will get into. I don't really like the play design. I don't like throwing a fade to Dalton Schultz, but um,
But
was not a very good throw.
let's hopefully
I
it's a
think he
game.
tries to put too much, like you said, too much air on him a lot of the time.
We don't need to. Now I
Yeah,
understand why because he's 6'4", but when you have separation like that, Nico Collins got really good footwork for someone that's
yeah.
6'4".
And he's got good enough hands to where like if he gets into a hand fight with the corner, he's probably going to win it.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. This might be the Pierce carry. Um, let's see. Okay, yeah, this is it. I felt like there was a lot of room here, and he just misses it. And maybe
It should be another view. That's the
actually, let me go from. I thought Schultz and Kenyon did a pretty good job. So Kenyon pulls across. He gets. I thought right here, and I know it's not necessarily the biggest of room, but I feel like there's
certainly
more.
isn't room to the outside because 44 be able
Yeah, I
to
think you have
slam
a
it
better
over.
shot at cutting up here, cutting inside, and then just kind of trying to like just get
Wiggle.
small, get through here, and then because he tries to just he tries to bounce this instead of just. I'd rather him go upfield and at least get yourself two or three instead of. I don't even know if he gets a
I think
yard
the
here, right?
problem is Damian Pierce sees the key block is Stephon Diggs versus Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah,
I think that's the problem is he sees that he has to you have to get skinny and obviously Diggs doesn't even make the block, so this would be a 3-yard carry at most. But that's just such a small gap. Maybe Devin Singletary does this, but I mean Devin Singletary he's so little and he's so light on his
yeah.
feet and he can rip in there. But I don't. That's not a Damian Pierce type of carry. I'm not even sure Joe Mixon will be able to do much of this either because
Kayvon
you gotta
also
have
just Kayvon makes a
acceleration
pretty
and
good
you
play
gotta
here
have
too, but no, yeah, that's tough. From the other from this angle, it's definitely tougher. There's not a lot of room. I watched it from the other angle. It looked like there's more room than there is.
when running backs
Um,
see little when running backs don't see much room, they're always going to try to bounce outside. So he saw not much space, and he saw Stephon Diggs on Isaiah Simmons, and well, I don't know where. Maybe he can't see 44. Um, I can't even see 44 from this view, but
yeah, no,
he's
you can't see him
looking
until
at
really late. Yeah,
He looks at Isaiah Simmons, and then stops. But he sees what you're seeing. He just decides not to.
yeah. No, I mean, either way, there's probably not a ton here, but I think overall with how Pierce runs, I'd more so like him to just try to get upfield. Um, try to maybe just try to run Isaiah Simmons over like that's type of stuff that Pierce does, right? So I'd like to see him get upfield more, but
He wants to
I
be
don't know.
his own runner so badly. He wants to be versatile. I was what I would say. He wants to be that guy that can, take it to the outside. He's just not there yet.
Sure, sure. Let's see, what is this one? This
This might be
is
the
yeah,
scramble.
yeah, this is a scramble.
Elijah
Uh,
Chapman.
let's watch this from another angle. Let's see what we see here. Okay, get tank motion.
I mean, I love the trips. Love trips. Love bunch. All three of those guys. I feel like I find it hard to believe that wasn't an option route by Diggs because he could have easily taken it to the corner of the end zone.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
probably should have just
he stacks. He stacks
yeah.
on him.
Because
And
outside of that, there's not much separation here. There's not really anywhere to go.
you're never going to be
Maybe,
able to win it. You're never going to be able to win it time like that.
yeah. Maybe you try to go to tank on the out, but
You
he's
can
not
go to
even
take that.
looking that way.
He's, now let's take a look at the
He
pressure because that is probably why.
you
Okay.
get
You could throw an out to Stephon Diggs there.
yeah, Kayvon. You see, but he can step up here and still have a little bit of time. It feels like. I wonder if so. Tank's kind of. I don't think he's running a zig. Maybe he is. Do you think he's just kind
He
of
got the
coming back
nine.
scramble drill, or
Either
he's?
scramble drill or he got the nine. Let's see. No, he runs a zig when he sees CJ. I run the
Yeah, that's what I
just
was.
scramble
Yeah,
there.
that's
But
scramble drill.
Diggs looks like that's just an out. He said that's a dig. It's a design dig. But I would love him to get more options than what's in this. I know it's not. I mean, I would say it's a pretty West Coast kind of thing to do. I
Yeah,
think a lot of
I think
schools
you'll
are
see. I
thinking
think we'll
about
see a
that.
good amount of option routes for him. I think you'll see him more, especially when Stroud and Diggs get more chemistry. They play together more. I think you'll see that type of stuff come out. I
I
always
think
like
maybe more
Stroud.
option around.
Well,
Yeah,
I always like Stroud creating out of out of structure. Like I love the fact that he does it more. He seems to just do it more and more now, which is awesome. Um, but no, there's not a ton here.
this is just a. I don't love running. I mean, this is flood. This is what I would call flood. I don't really think
Yeah,
flood is a good concept here in the red zone. You should be running like mesh. You could run spot. You can run like
yeah, because it
slide
feels
against.
like, especially when he's reading, he mainly reads the right side of the field here, and I don't see how how anybody on that side of the field is really going to get open. Like Schultz is on. I don't even know what Schultz is running. I really don't even know what he's running at all. If you just,
Just illegal contact. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know if,
That guy
yeah,
has hands on him right there. I don't know why the flag wasn't thrown earlier. Schultz needs to understand that that guy needs to get hands off me, or it's going to be a
I mean,
flag.
he had his hands on him the whole right.
Like,
Because
there's a
even
certain
here,
point
he's
where you have
still.
to stop hand fighting and just let the defender get called for the flag.
And that was a play where it's not a ton open, but like you said, that probably should be a flag.
And I really like
Um,
the speed out to Tank Dell there. I just think Tank Dell should have ran it like 2 yards deeper too.
yeah, no, that's the little things that, especially in preseason, I'm sure they'll watch it over and tell you got to run that route a little bit deeper
Yeah,
because I
I
think
can
it
just
is.
imagine the conversations that they're having about this exact play in the film room. Like, we could have just
Yeah,
done this and it would have been a touchdown. Because there's opportunities there. Gets man coverage what the receivers of the Texans have. There's a lot of things you can do.
yeah. I mean, like you talk about, and if you're slow too, you're thinking like if you kind of run the same type of thing, but you put Diggs on an option, like you're saying, you get him more to the corner of the end zone, you get him on this, you get tanked on this out more towards the end zone. I mean, one on one, I'll take those. Like you said, I'll take the receivers winning that
Hey,
a lot of the time. And I think he's mainly, like you said, Stroud mainly reads.
he doesn't
I
really
think
look to the
he,
left.
yeah, I think his scramble here is a little bit premature. Maybe he doesn't necessarily have to get out here, but um, yeah,
And
it
he
seems
just
like
kind of
he's
feels
just,
Kayvon getting real close. But I trust Titus Howard there. I
yeah,
really think
I
you
do
should
too.
trust Titus a little bit more there. You should. So, anyways, let's see what
Yeah,
else we got.
this no, that's definitely a play like you're talking about where they're going to go over that in film and be able to uh think about. And here you get the trips look again on this side. You get Schultz outside. This play call, I hate it. I I'm not throwing a fade to Dalton Schultz really ever. Um, I like him in the red zone, and this throw is kind of off because I think Mason just kind of gets pushed all the way back into Stroud. Um, but I'm not a big fan of this. This is like very similar on the trip side to what they ran last play.
And
It's
what you need to do here, and this is just me kind of thinking of a design, is you need to have Dare go to where those four Giants defenders are, get that linebacker to come down, and that trail route to Diggs is wide open for a touchdown.
yeah,
If you pull that linebacker down, because I mean Diggs separated. Again, I wish I could draw on this, but Diggs separated.
yeah. Diggs has
Bang,
the
B1.
linebacker's just sitting there. Yeah,
Linebackers there, but if you have an under, there's no under here other than Nico Collins running
yeah,
kind of just
Nico.
really a beater into space, which you could also loft over.
Yeah,
You
that's what I was
potentially
gonna say.
loft over to the side
I
zone.
wouldn't be against throwing that to Nico. Um,
I don't
but
think Stroud knew that Nico was going to make that kind of move. No, he just kind of thought it was like a snag.
and this is a tough pocket to throw from too. So, like I said, Mason is.
Super multiple. Actually, scratch what I said. He can't make that throw to Diggs whatsoever. That
Yeah,
pocket is
there's no
way too
time.
messy.
Yeah, there's just
No
no
time.
time. Fisher gets beat inside. Mason's pushed all the way back. Kayvon
No
gets
shot.
Kayvon gets pretty good push too. Like there's just none of them are necessarily maybe gonna sack him, but there's nowhere to go with that. Like, he just doesn't have something there. But
Dude,
that's another
great.
play where I love the formation, like we talked about. I love having the three receivers on the trip side like that. Um, so I hope we see more of that.
Yeah,
And
there's also
then
times like
this,
this where there's a Diggs one-on-one where that's just a really weird route. Diggs.
yeah, I don't know what
It's a
that
good red
is.
zone that's gonna be a red zone under levels concept. I really like that.
I like,
Um,
yeah, that's what I was thinking when I watched this originally. I like this play. It just, I mean, I don't know who. I think it was Dexter Lawrence. I mean,
my
he's
one
a big
nitpick
guy.
is I'd rather have Nico Collins as the guy running the under instead of Tank
Yeah,
Dell. Tank Dell get crushed, and he might not be able to hold on to that ball.
I agree with you on that. I think, yeah, but this is kind of what we were talking about, where you kind of have the drag because if he has a little bit more time, you could maybe hit Schultz here too. Because if you get this linebacker to crash down, you could maybe get it in the back to Schultz.
Linebacker's
Kind of
got
what we
to
talk
make a
about.
decision there, but he doesn't have to make a decision because of the pressure. So that would have
Yeah,
been really interesting to see what would have happened.
no,
That's
there's
a
just no
great
time.
pass.
There's just no time here. But it's kind of what
It's
we talk about
really
where
big separate too.
when you have the underneath, you can pull these linebackers down and hit them in the back, which is what you want to see. And I think when you see more pressure, I mean, really, there's no pressure here outside of Blake Fisher just gets beat. Like Puncel's not getting beat like this, right? So if it's a real game, he has the time to make that decision. And I think he
Nando,
hit Schultz in the back for
yeah.
especially in a preseason game. You don't want Stroud getting killed, so just get rid of the ball, right? Like if you don't score, it's not the end of the world. I don't want him to get killed. Um, so you
So
know,
far, this red zone offense has been really kind of eye-opening to watch because there's so many different ways that those plays could have gone with just one little
oh
thing.
yeah, and and I think a lot of it too is I think when you get Mixon back, the red zone offense is just going to be even better because you get the ability to run the ball better. I don't even have much to say about
I
this,
wish
but
Pierce
this
got
is
one more
just
carry in the red zone because just the way the other two runs
I
was,
don't
it's
really
just
have much to
hilarious.
say about this. I mean,
Danny
I'm
dimes.
I love Jalen Peter getting confidence, but this is just an idiotic throw. I mean, this is just stupid. There's
Say
nothing else.
his Malik Neighbors is open on the crosser. And he again, this is Malik Neighbors. Um, I, I guess as Al Shire dropped a little bit too far back, especially when there's nothing else there. He just really wasn't
Yeah,
using that peripherals there. That's going to be on Aziz Al-Shaair. Even though Jimmy Ward chased it, it was just because it was kind of match coverage. But Aziz Al-Shaair has got to see in the corner of his eye what's coming
not a
across.
few neighbors.
He
Yeah,
needs to get his eyes off of Daniel Jones, especially when there's really pressure coming.
this is. I want to highlight too. So Deontay never even has a shot to throw. Great pressure from Derek Barnett, your guy, by the way.
Oh, so good.
But let's look Kamari Lassiter here. Very good coverage. Yeah, he has outside leverage the whole time, but good coverage. Pretty much runs the route for him here. It's not a super hard route to cover, but thought he was impressive in his first game.
Yeah,
Um,
especially when, it's cover three and he's just has to stay in that third. He knows he has help inside. It's nice to be able to sit on those corner routes because you never know. Someone might just try to trust their receiver
I've
and make
watched
a
this play
mistake.
so many times. I don't understand why Jones just doesn't throw at his feet. I actually really don't get it. But
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I'll
an
take it.
impressive showing of arm strength there by Daniel Jones
That's
to
what that's what I was saying. Like he it's a pretty like impressive that he can get it that far. So just throw it at his feet. I don't know.
you got a whole
I'm
dude on
glad to
you.
have CJ Stroud. Pretty much all I got to say about this play. Let's move on. Let's see what we got. All right, first down. This is um, let's watch this. So linebackers here. Is something that I want to point out just because if you don't have Harris, the third linebacker looks like Jake Hansen. Um, and then pretty good run defense overall. Defensive tackle. I'm trying to think. Petrie does a pretty good job, actually, taking on that block. And then Hanson does a good job getting in there. Not too much to say about that one. Um, I think this
He,
is a run for motor. This is a damn
it'll
good
show
run
you
for
how
motor.
athletic Aziz Al-Shaair is, though, because you don't really see many Mike linebackers that have that type of speed. He just absolutely shoot. I mean, he missed that tackle. I believe I
Yeah.
made a comment about that during the game. I mean, he was there. He was there for that play.
Yeah, no, that's a tackle that he's going to make a lot of the time. But Motor's a very shifty guy. He's not an easy dude to bring down. So,
I
um,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, I love Motor. I was, I hope that dude does really well because I loved him when he was here. But no, this
Oh,
is like you said, the speed from Aziz, and I mean that's where you want him to be on the play. So just got to make the tackle.
let's see. Flow there from Jake Hansen, so just kind of crashing down because he could also help there too, but he just kind of slammed in.
It was a great
Yeah, that was a
tackle
great
from
play by Jalen
Petrie.
Petrie
Yeah, yeah,
because
no,
if
I
he's playing deep safety there, he might make a mistake, but he's just 7 yards away from the line of scrimmage. They would come down on it, and look, he made a better tackle than he usually does, so or did
I
last year.
I I don't even care. Like, and especially in preseason, I could care less if like this play gets blown dead or doesn't count because there's too many guys in the field. I like seeing this type of stuff for Petrie. And
Oh,
it seems like to me he tries to strip the ball, which is like something that I like from as long as you make the tackle, go for the ball. If you start missing tackles, then just make the tackle. But if he's making sound
he
tackles like that,
feels
go for the
like
ball.
he probably feels like or was taught that his teammates are going to swarm. So
Yeah.
if you're able to initiate contact and start getting at the ball, that's why like if you watch Hard Knocks, Matt Eberflus is like, I want a turnover, I want a turnover. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I want a turnover to be forced. And so that's just kind of it's the little
I
things.
actually, I need to catch up on Hard Knocks. I haven't been watching it at all. I was a huge fan of the Giants one, but I haven't watched any of the Bears yet.
Yeah.
Um, no, but yeah, that's an awesome tackle feature. Um, I think he makes another good play on this one, actually, if I'm remembering correctly. So this is kind of the Texans' base defense. You get the 4-2-5
I think it's Caleb Bullock
deep
up top.
safety, Kalen Bullock. Yep.
He's starting
Um,
today with the ones in training camp.
Petrie's in nickel here, Ward's in the box. That's what we talk about. The versatility that Kalen Bullock and these guys provide you. This is
Aaron
a
Jones.
awesome play from Jalen Petrie. He doesn't even make a tackle, but the fact that he takes on the puller like
Oh
that
my,
and is able
blew him
to,
up.
I mean, that Jalen Petrie is not a very big guy, so the fact that he's
But
able to just blow
he
up
did that
the
in his rookie year too. I mean, he did
that
that last
yeah,
year
no,
too.
because he
But
comes in
still,
like a missile. That's all. I mean, because this is what we talk about when you move him to nickel. He's not even thinking anymore. He's just playing. He's just going out there and like I'm going to hit the guy in front of me. That's all you want from him. So the fact that
exactly how
he's
you
able to do
outside
that,
contain.
yep. I mean that's legitimately perfect run defense. Um, and you get Barnett and
A
these other
little bit
guys that
more
are able to finish
flow
off the
from.
play.
I don't really know what Toto was doing on that play, but it seemed like I'll show you. Oh, okay, so yeah,
I think he
great
kind
play
of
by
overruns it.
Barnett, but great play by Barnett. The Toto obviously is getting blocked by a lineman, which is pretty impressive. Shed 60. Is that John Michael Schmitz? Good Lord.
Yeah, I
Oh,
believe it is. Yeah. That is a pretty
John
impressive
Michael
shot,
Schmitz has
actually.
got to make on
I've liked
compliments.
Toa Toa. I've liked Toa Toa a good amount in run defense from what I've seen. I think he's a good run defender. I just worry about coverage. But no, I mean he's. I think Toa Toa is going to take a step for sure as a third linebacker when Harris gets back, obviously. Um, but no, this is all I want to see from Jalen Petrie, man. Just. I mean, he was putting his body on the line completely in his rookie year. That is just awesome to see. So do it more, man. You go in there and light someone up.
It's a great play.
Let's see. What's this? This is a catch I was talking about. This is a hell of a catch. I mean, I don't know how he gets his feet in, I don't know. This is an awesome play. There's not much defensively to say about this
Listener
for me,
needs
really.
to not overreact to subtle movements.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
No, because originally
He
I didn't.
turns way too much when Neighbors turns his head inside because that's the definition of that's not your job. You are
Yeah,
in a deep third. You are protecting the outside, the sideline. I don't
and
care
yeah,
if Malik Neighbors turns inside. You should be
yeah,
stay
Ward's right
still.
there.
Don't move. Don't move. And then he's
Yeah.
a rookie, and that's what happens sometimes.
Um, no, but that was a play where originally like when I first watched the game, I didn't think Lassiter got targeted, but when PFF dropped their grade, they counted this against him, and I would actually agree with them. I think this is on Lassiter.
That's how last year.
Um,
He could have made an interception, or he wouldn't have been thrown if he just didn't move.
yeah, you know,
I
he's
don't know
way
what
yeah.
he's doing. There is no one there.
And this is honestly a pretty impressive job by Jimmy Ward to even make it a close play. To
He
even
still
make it
gets
like
improved on
it's
his
a pretty good play.
agility.
Um, but no, yeah, Lassiter way overreacts to this. And like you said, it's a rookie, it happens, but that's something that I'm sure in film they're going to go over because that's you can't have that.
Assume that the defensive back coach is saying the exact same thing. That's not your job.
Jalen, Petrie, and Khalil Davis.
Like again, when you line him up close to the line of scrimmage and he uses those instincts, like he has good instincts.
And he
And
almost
it's because
sacked Daniel Jones on the handoff. He was there
and he
that fast.
also
Like I mean,
like
he almost
it was probably a design blitz too. And so
yeah.
he knew that he was gonna crash inside and just make a play, and he made a play.
Look at my guy Khalil Davis, though. We can't ignore this. Look at this spin move. Right off the
Ooh,
block, gets
good
in
move
there.
on a handoff
I
against a
love it.
run set.
I love
You
it.
don't see that very often.
I love it, man. Khalil
I don't even
Davis.
know where I don't even know where he learned that. Right? Teaching him that in the XFL.
I guess, man, the Stallions are generational defensive line coach, I guess.
You Stallions.
No, but that I mean, this is just an awesome play from Petrie. He could have, I mean, he really could have sacked Daniel Jones, right? Like he was there that quickly. Um,
So
but I
thank you
do
to
like the
Brian
fact that
Jones
he
for
kind of
not letting
slows down because it felt like a lot of times last year he was playing too fast, like too sped up. So I do like the fact that, he sees what's happening, he slows down, he
he
just,
does he does break down his hips.
yeah, which is what you want to see.
It's important. That's
This was
exactly
a
what he said.
super important game for Petrie for me, just to get his confidence up, and see himself make these type of plays because it hadn't happened really since his rookie year. Um, so seeing that type of stuff happen is awesome. I just can't get over the fact that Khalil Davis spun into the running back. That's awesome.
Did you post that online yet?
I'm
Gotta
gonna
show
have
that
to,
for the
man. Everyone knows how big of a Khalil Davis
That's
fan I am. I'm gonna have
crazy.
to.
It's a crazy move.
I'm gonna have to talk about that. Um,
That's I mean that's just a good job by Daniel Jones to manage the pocket. I don't know why he slides like that. It's but how can you break your neck and still not learn how to slide? It just I don't
here,
understand.
I know when I watched it originally, I'm like, Stingley, get out of the way. I don't want him. They don't like, slide head first into his leg like that.
Maybe Daniel Jones is a dirty player. Maybe bearded Daniel Jones has got some animosity in him.
He almost threw a pick six, and he's like, let's take this guy out of the game.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I don't know why he does that. Feels
Not too
like
much
Khalil
else to say
Davis
about
got
this.
held at the end of that pass rush too.
You got to hold him, man. He's too much of a beast. No,
I
but
don't really know how the ref misses.
yeah, it's pretty obvious. But um, good coverage on the backside. This is actually what we talked about. Where these does a pretty good job following that tight
That's
end.
great coverage. She's got excellent speed to be able to make plays in coverage.
Yeah, it's really not his. It's not the tools for Aziz. It's more so just recognizing what's going on in coverage, which is what you want to see from him. Um, but he's really only been a starter for one season, so it's kind of stuff that you'll have
Never
to.
played Mike until I'm assuming he played Mike in Tennessee, but certainly
Yeah,
not
he
in San
did. Yeah,
Francisco.
no, yeah, they have too many. Um,
Or
but we'll go back off this play in a second, but I just thought it was funny when Aziz comes over and he's kind of like after Jones slides, he's more confused than anything. He's like falling over. Uh, all right, let's see. This is the third down run. Let's see what happened here. This was good play from who got in the backfield there. Is that Petrie? It is Petrie.
He's causing havoc against 300 plus pound men. There's really no other way to
Maybe I'm
describe it.
wrong, but I feel like that's a hole. Is it not? He kind of just tackles him on Petrie here. I
Bit of
feel like
trick.
that's yeah,
Sometimes they
maybe.
could knock it up to just your footwork. And also, Aziz Al-Shahir, I thought that was Petrie for a second, but that was Aziz Al-Shahir who was causing
Yeah.
havoc, insane knockback against offensive linemen.
Who does a good job here
Well,
filling too, I thought.
yeah.
We would like to bring him down short of the first down, but it's a pretty good job. This is the pick, I think. If I'm not mistaken. I mean, this is
Um,
just yeah, this is just an awesome play. His ball skills are just unbelievable. I mean,
At first, I was thinking that maybe Daniel Jones could have thrown that, further out over the shoulder, but I'm not. Stingley just
I
knew
don't
what was
think
happening
this.
there. If Daniel Jones throws it over the shoulder, I'm not sure Pete or Stingley doesn't pick that too, because he's
Yeah,
just
I just think
all
I think
over him.
I talked about this not on social media, but I talked about it on just kind of with just talking about the game with friends and stuff. I was kind of just like you're almost at the point now where I don't even think this is necessarily a terrible throw or a terrible route. It's just kind of just don't even throw it at Stingley. Like that's kind of the point we're reaching with him. Just don't even throw it that direction.
He's either gonna
Like
have like 7 interceptions this year, or he's gonna be targeted like 10
yeah, because
times.
he's just not they're not gonna throw at him. Like
Don't throw
that's
at
the
him.
point it's reaching. So come on,
If I'm a
it's
quarterback, I'm looking. Oh, Stingley's in man coverage against whoever the heck that is. It's not Malik Neighbors. I'm not gonna throw at him. Right?
I mean, there's just no
Why did you throw
separation
that?
here. The only time where there looks like there's a little bit is just when Stingley turns his head. There's nowhere to really throw this ball. He turns his head, so he gets a little bit in front of him. But I think Stingley's just tracking the ball more than anything. I don't think
And
he's.
that's what Kamari last year was talking about in his press conference. Like, it is ball track. Ball tracking is a trait, and he is
Oh
an
yeah,
elite ball tracker that people need to notice. Is that is a
yeah.
talent. It's not
Trust
luck.
me,
It's not a bad pass.
Kamari Lassiter is gonna know when someone's a good ball tracker because he's not. That guy cannot
There
track the
you go.
football.
He's not. That was his worst trait coming out of Georgia. Absolutely. So he knows.
um, No, yeah, he can recognize that type of stuff because he is a awful ball tracker. He's like Lassiter is never going to be a guy that has a ton of picks. It's just not how he plays, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. It just is like one of the takebacks to his game. Um, but no, there's certain guys that have it. You can see Stingley has it. You can see that Caleb Bullock has it. Um,
It's
but
a
this is
great
kind of what
job
we talk
by.
about.
There you go.
What are you going to say?
I was gonna say the great thing about Stimuli is just how so technically refined he is. He's
Oh
able
yeah,
to look down. His eyes are down at the hips before the snap too, and his eyes stay on the wide receiver's hips after the snap. So, and he obviously is athletic enough to keep up with anyone too. But
oh yeah.
just to be able to have that eye discipline, man, it's so nice to see because Texans has some really really bad corners in
Oh
their
god.
franchise history. It was brutal to
I saw someone
watch.
talking about Vernon Hargreaves the other day, and that was not something I was enjoying. Um, that guy was awful.
Couldn't guard a park bus.
This is little too, but I do like the fact that so we talked about it with what's his name Lassiter. Just Kalen Bullock not doing too much on a route like that. It's not necessarily a tough route to cover, but don't
And he
overreact
knows
to
he has
anything
help.
that he does. Yeah, you have help, so don't overreact. Right? Just
Just run with
follow
him.
him upfield, and that's the simple stuff that we talk about with Lassiter that he didn't. He failed to do against neighbors on that route. So
And
little stuff
Kalen
like that.
Bullock also he's definitely a better athlete than Kamari Lassiter. And
Oh
Kalen
yeah,
Bullock also played receiver, so when he sees a receiver like that, he knows that the receiver is gonna do something to try to trick you. So it's important that he was a former receiver because he knows that that's not it. The receiver is gonna do something else, so he's gonna run with him and trust the safety help. All right, here's the Damian Pierce carry. There's
There's
no
nothing he
running.
can do. Yeah, there's nothing he can do there.
And that's the
I,
type of
I
play call that you're going to get when you're at the 1 yard line. And that happens all the time because
yeah,
teams know that they're going to run. But after this, we see the Texans be ballsy and go into empty
I
and throw the
okay, I'm going the
football.
other angle. I love this. I cannot say how much I love this. It's
To have a luxury to do this is just,
yeah.
you're not the
It
New
just
York
shows
Giants
how
and running
much
quarterback sneaks. You're
yeah.
going to empty and throwing the football.
It just shows how much trust they have in Stroud, like getting the ball out here. I will say when I'm watching this, the one thing that they got a little bit lucky on, I think Fisher holds Burns in the end zone and they don't call it right here. He's
It's just
grabbing.
too you can't see it.
It's
You
too
can't see
muddy.
it.
Yeah, it's too muddy. But the play
It's,
call, beautiful route by Schultz too. This is a great route. Um,
what I like about this is that's really just supposed to be a beater, but it's a fun way to run a beater because the eyes are going, oh, he's running a stick. Okay. Boop. Now I'm just going to run into
yeah,
space.
because the linebacker
Right?
never even knows that he's back there, right? He never
Yeah.
even
It's like a great
he's
call
worried about
against too
Pierce.
high. It's a great call against too high because that's Tank Dell just running a mandatory outside release. That safety's occupied. The other safety's got his eyes on the right side of the field. So just and then when Schultz goes more towards the hash and the sideline, he's got all that space to run the beater.
I find it pretty funny
Super
that
quick
Robert
way to
Woods
run.
is running a streak here. It's like nobody's going to be really afraid of that. But um, I wonder where. Wait, hold on. Where is this? 11. Is there another safety deep here? I can't really see, but Nico might have had. Nico might be gone if there's not a safety back
Put
there.
his
I don't
hand
think
up,
there
I think.
is.
He put
I
his
don't think
hand
there
up,
is
but I
another
mean,
safety. Oh yeah, I don't think there is another safety back there. I think he's gone. But no, I mean obviously you don't want to hold on to the ball too long when you're in your own end zone. So you find the open guy. But yeah, Nico may have been gone here. This is we talked about it with Banks and man, but this is bad zone technique. If you don't have help, I guess he doesn't think that they're going to go deep from their own one, right? I guess that's what he's assuming.
exactly.
So, but you have the luxury to do it if your offensive line, especially when you get Tunsil back in pass pro and you have the weapons the Texans have, you can do that kind of stuff, and you have the quarterback to do it.
I agree. This is a really good drop because you should just be trying to guard the sideline. If you don't think he's going to go deep, force it inside. Banks is giving him outside leverage. Weird. All right, is there any other plays you want to highlight? Because it's already getting to past an hour.
Oh my God,
Um,
I did not know we've
I'm
been
sure
doing this
someone
for
can
that
say, yeah,
long.
we got to go to the other end. We'll try to do
Let's watch
this.
this. Let's watch this last Pierce carry.
Yeah, well, I was going to
Just
say
to
Pierce.
okay. Well,
Um,
actually, let's just watch this one play because this is just an awesome throw, and I just want to watch this again. I could care less about the hole. This is just an awesome throw to the sideline. Step up in the pocket, beautiful. That's all I want to say about that one. I think there's one more Pierce carry, right? I believe. I think he carries the ball. Yeah, right here.
3 yards.
Longest carry of the preseason.
Oh, boy.
That's that's rough out here. Um, let's see what we got here.
But I think so far I would say the first 3 carries there wasn't much fun.
There's just not much there
And then
again.
there's
Doesn't feel like.
nothing there. So look, I mean, I'm gonna have to jot it up to the same problem it was last year is that he's being contacted too soon. There's no space.
Nah,
I mean,
there's not much here. I mean, maybe you could say bounce outside, but I'm not gonna complain about him just
can't
getting
you,
upfield because
the
that's
reason
kind
why
of
you
what I
can't
want him
bounce
to do.
outside is because Simmons is waiting for you to make your next move.
Yeah,
So if
and
you bounce
Simmons is a
outside,
really
someone's gonna
athletic linebacker.
jump on
Yeah,
you.
and
So
I complained about it earlier. Not necessarily complained, but I've said for a while I want Pierce to just get upfield. So I'm cool with him getting three and just getting upfield. That's kind of what I've wanted from him. Obviously, you want more than 3 yards, but just get the yards that are given to you and move on. That's all. That's what I want from him. Let's see. Any other plays? I wanted to highlight. Okay. He turned the right way this time. Actually
exactly.
turned upfield this time. There we
You
go.
know, he's got super smooth feet, and I think that's why he can be a good yard after catch receiver because when he does turn the right way, he gets those yards instantly.
There's a couple plays that I want to highlight still. This one to me was really impressive on the goal line. I love Kalen Bullock filled that gap and just didn't let him in. Like
Just took
that's the
it
type of
completely on
stuff
the D line.
where this type of stuff where I like Kalen Bullock, that was his biggest probably concern coming out was just the physicality tackling. So the fact that he's able to do this, and Motor's not necessarily the biggest guy, obviously, but
Of course.
uh stacking up like that and not letting him in is impressive. I like that a lot.
You do get out there too. You gotta have as many guys up at the zone at the line as you can. And so good job by him to be patient too, and then the flow over there because you know if no one's there, no one's there. He can just walk him for a touchdown. He has to fight. He has to fight for yards.
Let's see. I feel like
Hey,
okay,
Akers for
we'll
14
probably
yards.
let's see. Probably should watch this one. The Acres cutback. This is impressive. This is impressive stuff. Not much there.
I mean, just
Cut
no
back.
wasted movement, and the way that he's able to move his feet like that and get to the right, kind of just had a really sharp, clean angle. You could really draw a line over that feet work. He's not
Yeah.
crossing his feet over. He's
No,
just okay, this is
that's
where I'm
my
going.
main that's my main problem with Pierce. We talked about it last episode, but just the fact that I feel like his putts are too slow is his
Yeah, Pierce
biggest
can't do that.
problem.
I know. We all know that David Pierce cannot make that play, but Akers just makes such a nicely carved out cut. Beautiful. And
And
that's just
then
an awful throw by Case Keenum.
yeah, it's a really bad throw.
Hutchinson is wide open, but there's pressure too. So
This one, this is a good route by Mechie, I believe. Let's watch this from Mechie had a really good day, which was awesome to see. But
Brandon
this was
Jordan,
a
wide
dig,
receiver,
I
I love
believe.
that too. Footwork is he reminds me a lot of Jerry Judy. I mean that footwork is up there. That is really up there, really
They played
impressive.
together, didn't they? Right? I think they did
And
at
they
one point
I
at
guess
Bama.
they technically played together. But yeah, look, I can understand that maybe Mechie wasn't as explosive last year, but he looks really explosive now, and that is just great
Yeah.
footwork. He attacks and stacks. Could have stacked a little bit more, but he already had space, so he cut inside. And but he also
And,
cut inside with
and
no
like you
wasted
talked about,
movement. Mm,
I love the
so good.
idea of using Brevin as another receiver if you can. Hey, look at us on the sideline celebrating. Like we talk
Yeah,
about, dude. Like
exactly.
there's not anybody on this team that doesn't love John Mechie. So he's going to make the team just off of that, and the fact that he's one of the better separators on the team, route running wise, dude. He can separate with the best of them. I feel like the main problem is just catching the football. You got to catch the ball, but
With like catching the
he
ball
can
and then
separate.
just I don't know
And
how
this
to
is
throw
not.
these
I
packages
know he
yet.
bobbles this. This is not a very good throw. This is way behind him, right? This is not like if this is Stroud, the ball's getting put. The ball's thrown
Oh,
probably right here, and the ball's getting put right here, right? He just runs under it. So it's just different than quarterbacking, but
that's a great
uh
play to look at like the future of the Texans because like we'll say maybe you're gonna get Metro line up off the line of scrimmage, get a free release. You got Nico Collins and Tank down the field too, and Mechie's just gonna go to work against man coverage while the other guys are doing their other thing. So I'm totally fine with him being the third receiver for years and years to come. I know it's a
especially
crazy
because
thing to say though,
yeah,
after he had done nothing productive in his career, but routes like
I'm
that are
not ready to
just
say that
really
yet.
underrated.
I see the ceiling for him though, and I see the fit with the receiver room
Also super
because I
high
think he
ceiling.
could
A
be
route
a
like that,
oh yeah,
oh my
there's a
God.
ton of potential there. And I
I
loved him
didn't
at
even know
Bama.
the
I
route was
was a
that
huge
crispy.
fan of the pick. I just didn't see anything last year. So I got to see it in the regular season first before I really dive into that. But
Yeah, it'll be
I,
interesting
I'm
of
impressed.
how much do they want to use him in packages like that when they just already have the luxury of having three top 25 receivers in the NFL.
This is great stuff too. This is good quarterbacking and it's good.
I mean,
I
also,
love
whoa, Steven
motion
Sims
across.
is wide open.
I didn't even see. Oh my God. Yeah, he is wide open. I, I'm sure we'll get into it when we talk more about 53, but I've started to buy into them keeping Steven Sims. Um, so we'll get into that more. But no, this is a good route
Those
by
last
Mechie.
like once you get to like player 47, it's hate this.
Oh, it's
This team's
rough.
too deep. I hate it.
Like you talked about, it'd be a lot easier if they still did cut down by a period, because then you could kind of have an idea. They could go so many ways. It's
They really
another
could.
good. I mean, you get, and I like Isaiah Simmons, but I will take this matchup. Isaiah Simmons on John Mechie, I'll take it. Like he's going to, I'll take that matchup whenever I can get it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing for Buck, I will say to everyone, just remember that you can put players on the practice squad and elevate them 3 times. So players can get
Mhm.
hurt, go on IR. So
And you
that's
can,
what happened to Steven Sims last year. He was on practice squad.
he's elevated a lot, yeah. And the thing with the quarterback now is that they're only going to keep two quarterbacks because the third one you can elevate as many times as you want. So um, they're gonna
We'll see.
they're only gonna carry Stroud and
That's
Mills are
a
going to
fair
be the
amount
only
of
guys they carry, which means I wouldn't be shocked if Case Keenum isn't on this team just because I think he may get claimed if he gets cut or maybe get signed somewhere else. But maybe he just wants to stay here. So you never know. 'Cause I think he's technically old enough to where he's not going to go on
Houston
waivers.
led Rebels. I don't think he's going
Yeah, I
there.
don't think he's going to leave it. I don't think because I think he's old enough to where he doesn't go on waivers. I
He
want to
knows
watch
he
this
can't.
run
I know. Yeah.
because JJ Taylor, my
People
guy, great
watching
run.
Elijah Chapman.
Not yeah,
Jesus
94, man.
Christ,
I
that's
I mean
insane.
yeah, that's and I think
That's cynical.
JJ went out of bounds before, like he didn't even get as far down. But the fact that that guy was that athletic to go chase him down, I think he's
Dude,
wearing
I didn't
94 because
even
he
know
was
that it
inspired
looked like
watching
that
Khalil
on film.
Davis.
That is crazy.
Yeah, that's
I've never
yeah.
seen anything
He's
like that in my life.
he's gonna make the team now for sure. If he wasn't before, I don't know that much about the Giants, but
Jesus
I'm telling you,
Christ.
I think he's wearing 94 because he's watched the Khalil Davis film and he's taken inspiration.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh God.
no, that's a super
I
athletic
think
play.
JJ
I
Taylor was going full speed though,
Yeah,
honestly.
and he's
So
not a slow guy, which is like he's pretty quick dude. So no, that's a super impressive play. I more so just wanted to watch it just to see the defensive tackle chasing down, but
I'm
um,
glad you said that. I think New York fans are very excited about Chapman.
I think I saw that he's taking reps with the number ones now. So there you go.
Got that
I wanted
Jordan
to watch
pull.
this play too because Cephas is my guy, and Boyle kind of just completely sells him on this. This should be a touchdown. It's like way. It's not a terrible throw because I get what he's seeing, but I feel like if you throw this upfield, it's probably gone.
There's just no chemistry between the two guys, and you
Yeah,
can't really predict it. See if he's going to win inside and then go outside. I mean, that's he just kind of Malik Neighbors like he kind of just glides upfield. And Cephas looks really good on that route, but there's just no chemistry.
I
I don't have to
I
go
am a
throw that.
huge Cephas fan. Cephas is one of those guys where
So
I
who is
would.
the tight end who just made a nasty double move? I can't really. That'd be
That
Dalton
is
Keene.
40. Yeah, well, he's out for the
Dalton
year now,
Keene.
so put him
Great
on
take for him.
IR, unfortunately. Um, we talked about it. I don't. They're low on tight end, which is bizarre because that's like never what they have been. They always seem to load up on tight ends, but um, no, this is this. I just want to share this because I've been a big Cephas guy. So he's a guy that I think he's not going to make your team because the receiver room's too good. But
He's always been an NFL receiver though.
he is an NFL receiver, and I would love to keep him around on the practice squad. Um, so that's just kind of where I'm at because they're going to have to cut some guys like Robert Woods maybe gets cut, or Hutchinson
Reach.
or Sims or one of those guys. At least one of those guys is getting cut for sure. So
Yeah.
it's a tough situation, but Cephas is a guy that I think you could keep around on practice squad, and he's a nice depth guy to have for sure. Any other plays, specific that you want to watch?
Yeah, I turned the game off at the end of the first half.
Uh,
But
I
I
let's
don't
see.
I don't know if there's
There was
anything notable.
one. There was one. I'm trying to think where it is. It was a third down. This was okay. This was a play. Not necessarily was like an awesome play, but I was super impressed by this catch just from Jordan. Like this is a tough catch. 3rd and 12, and he makes. Oh no, it wasn't. Not this one. Never mind. Yeah, I found the other third down. He made one catch on a third down that was really impressive. Let's see. As I just was thinking that as a third down back, I like what he brings you. Um, where is that? maybe
Was it
um,
13-yard pass? How many catches did
he had
Jordan
like
have?
four. He had a lot of catches.
Wow.
I think it was later in the
He didn't have a
game.
ton of. I saw his receiving yard stats
Yeah, yeah.
on the graph. I was like, what? Like,
Oh,
like,
it
is
is.
that
It's
real?
this one. No, yeah, he had a
I
lot.
couldn't believe
They
it.
threw him the ball a lot, but this is a
It's
tough catch.
unbelievable how many receiving yards he had. Unbelievable.
Like this is not an easy catch. He has to adjust to the ball. Not this is a terrible throw, but
After
um,
really moving your feet a lot to try to deceive and break it down, and then he's still going to jump out to the left,
yeah.
and he
No,
traps
I,
it to survive
I
the
was
down.
watching Steven Sims over here. I'm fairly confident that's a hold. I don't think you can do that.
They put hands on him past 10 yards, so 5 yards.
I don't know how far downfield is. Yeah, no, he's yeah. Um, no, that's a hell of a catch from Jordan. That's pretty much all I had. All I wanted to show.
Yeah,
One maybe one more. I wanted to show Marcus Harris tackle for loss. That was pretty impressive. Did you see that play?
I think I saw it on online. So
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
that was a nice play.
yeah.
Here
It's
it is.
not
I'll just show
Marcus
this real quick.
Harris. I mean,
Oh, I like Marcus
he's
Harris. I like
definitely
what he
he's
brings.
a talented player, but he's just a little bit limited right now. But he's a great athlete, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure. This is a nice play. I mean, he just blows it up completely.
It's that athleticism. I mean, he has the
He
acceleration to get down there
he
instant.
looks like he does look like a defensive tackle when I watch him. But that's kind of what I've taken away, like just his build and everything. He looks more like an end than he does a tackle to me. um,
Yeah, I mean,
but
especially as a pass rusher, he already is a good passer. But if he was to be a run stopper, it'd be more ideal for him to be a 3-4, a defensive
yeah,
end, and a 4-eye. But I mean, but you can have guys, especially if you're going to rotate your D line and trying to get cute. You're gonna have guys that are specialists in certain roles, and he's a great athlete to be a pass rushing specialist or to make or run stops like that too. Because that can be if you have the instincts, you can be a run stopper where you win with your athleticism.
for sure, for sure. All right, just gonna stop sharing my screen now. But one more thing before we cap this off. I'm thinking, let's name one player for this last preseason game that we think is gonna have like a great day. One guy.
Hey, okay, you go first. I'm thinking.
Okay. I'm thinking right now too. There's a couple of guys that I'm thinking. I may name. We can do two. We'll do two because
Dude,
we'll do
all
one
right,
offense, one
one on each
defense.
side of the ball.
Yeah, yeah. Got you. Defense, I'm gonna go. Troy Pride's kind of been one of my guys this whole
Mm,
preseason. I like what he's done at corner, and the depth corners have been horrible. So the fact that he's been decent has stood out to me. CJ Henderson's another guy to watch. I'm not a big CJ Henderson guy, but he's probably going to play because he's fighting for a spot. But Pride's a guy that at corner, I like what he's brought. He's an athletic guy, fundamentals, or like he needs to work on that. But I like the tools that he has. Right now, he'd be on my 53, so I'm interested to see what he brings. And then offense. What do we think for offense? Um, I'm gonna have to go with one of the receivers probably. I guess you watch Hutchinson because he's kind of like now with Messi standing out, he's kind of a guy that's probably fighting for a spot. Hutchinson and Sims are probably like the two that I would see. I think Woods is getting cut, but those two are kind of the last ones that are fighting for a spot. So probably one of those guys. How about you?
I'm gonna say Jamal Hill because I think he's a guy that if you just give him more time, more reps,
Yeah,
let him watch film, let him play the linebacker position more because he didn't play it his entire tenure at Oregon. He's a guy that can really play good. He's gonna get a lot of snaps. I think he should get a lot of snaps. I don't know
he
exactly
should.
what's gonna happen. He should. So I'll go Jamal Hill on defense.
Okay.
On offense, we'll go Cam Akers. He's fine for his job. This is probably his last chance in the NFL. He already looked good against the Giants, so I think he'll have a big game. And he may even solidify not only a roster spot, but a running back two spot.
Yeah,
That
the
could be
spot. Yeah, yeah, he really
yeah,
could.
we'll see.
I'm interested to see if Pierce plays. That's kind of where I'm at with this. I'm interested. I don't think he's going to, but I would be interested to see if he plays. So if he
That
plays,
means they're
that's
worried
a
about Mixon. If they don't play Pierce, they're really worried about Mixon. But he's practiced today. Mixon practiced today, so
yeah,
we'll see.
yeah. No, I'm interested to see about that. But no, that's I think this is going to be a good game for like the depth guys like we're talking about, like Marcus Harris, Jamal Hill, these
So
guys. Yeah, Solomon Bird had a
I'm gonna
strip
watch
sack.
Ali Gay, Ali Gay. back in
Yeah. He
LSU.
looked awesome. He's looked so good so far this
Yeah,
preseason. He's a guy that could really benefit from Autry's suspension, I think. I think if he even plays decently against the Rams, he's going to make the roster 100%. I love the tools that he brings to the table. So there's a lot of
I
guys, especially
agree.
on defense, because I thought Jamal Hill, at least to me, had easily his best game in the preseason against the Giants. Was not great or anything, but he was awful the first two games, and then he
Yeah,
looked a little bit better. He looked a little bit better against the
that's in the
Giants.
past now. I think that's really in the past because he just needs more rest.
Oh, 100%. He's a raw. He reminds me. I don't think he's maybe as good, but he reminds me of Christian Harris a little bit, where he's not necessarily ready to play linebacker. He's a guy who played safety, moved to linebacker, super athletic, but just doesn't. I mean, we saw rookie Christian Harris. It was not good. I
Not
mean, it
good.
just wasn't
So
good. Yeah, which happens. Um, I think you got anything else to add, or we?
yeah, but I'm just kind of looking forward to watching the game and trying to finalize the 53-man roster.
I'm excited about that
The
too.
practice squad's going to be interesting too. I think the practice squad, guys, you can bring up. Of course,
They're
there's going to be
so
some
deep.
injuries too. It
They're
just
so
feels like
deep.
we're so
The
deep at
practice
this
squad.
point.
Yeah,
Practice
they're
squad
gonna.
gems, they're talented too. So
Yeah, they used a lot of practice squad guys last year. I mean, Sims,
exactly.
like we talked about, they used Houston Carson, who we talked about, was claimed from another practice squad. Like they had to go deep. Hopefully this year they don't have to go as deep into the roster. But like I saw something, I was watching something. Apparently, defensive they took like 28 defensive players played snaps for them last year, or like 30. It was like just a ton. It was like
Yeah.
hopefully that does not happen again. But the practice squad matters. It does matter, 100%. Um, and we've talked about it, but it should be Monday, I think. So obviously, most episodes come out every Thursday, but on Monday, we're hoping to get out our 53-man special. So me and Drew are going to kind of go through our 53-man rosters and compare, and we'll talk about some of the, the closest positions, who we think is going to make it at, linebacker and receiver and corner spots like that. So stay tuned for that one for sure. That one should be a lot of fun. I'm like, really excited for that one. And see y'all next time.